Hi, welcome to Alpha to Omega Tax Services LLC. We're a family-run tax preparation service located in West Columbia, South Carolina. We've been operating since 2007. I'm Bill Cohen, and prior to opening our own tax service, I was employed by one of the national chains starting in 2002. Prior to leaving them, I had been teaching the classes for new preparers. My wife Sharon and I are also distributors with It Works Global. Talking with our distributors that have been able to develop substantial income rapidly, we've come to realize that there's a serious lack of tax education for self-employed individuals, and many myths and half-truths floating around. As I started doing these sessions, I decided, even though this is being done for our distributors, I'm including comprehensive information for anyone that is self-employed. This includes home-based, online, and brick and mortar. This is also good training for new tax preparers that have had the minimum training provided by the national chains. Now take note, if you're using one of the big three to have your taxes done, after you take this course, you'll probably know more about your taxes than most rookie tax preparers. Many of the expenses that are available to self-employed individuals are also available to employees, if they're not reimbursed by their employers. The lessons that do apply in this way are going to be developed with both groups in mind, and will be packaged into a separate training in the future. There may be advantages to becoming a corporation or forming a partnership in certain situations. I'm writing this series for sole proprietors, which means that you're the only person that owns and operates the business. You may still have employees, and your spouse can help you out, either as an official employee or just for the benefit of increased household income. There's even a way to list both of you as owners without being a partnership. Many It Works distributor spouses start out by helping out and eventually start their own distributorship and retire, or we call it rewire, from their regular job. Other business structure that's available in most states is a limited liability company, sometimes commonly referred to as LLC. The IRS doesn't specifically recognize LLCs. If there's only one member of an LLC, you have the choice. You can file as a corporation or as a sole proprietor. The default is sole proprietor unless you make a specific election. More than one member must file as a partnership. No matter what your business structure is, the expenses you can claim are the same. The difference is where you list them and how you're taxed once you calculate your profit. For simplicity's sake, we're not going to deal with any of the forms for corporations and partnerships. Welcome to my office. This is where the magic happens. Actually, just like with the magician, a tax preparer is no different than a regular person. It's just that we've studied and practiced and prepared to do what we do. Just as you can go into a magic shop, get a book and a magic wand, and learn to do illusions, you can learn to do taxes. Just be sure you're not using sleight of hand with the IRS. Instead of taking weeks to learn from the books, you can learn from this course in about 3.5 hours. Now this is what's contained in this course. Session 1, which you're watching now, is the introduction to the course. Session 2, Introduction to Self-Employment, about 10 minutes, 35 seconds, and it talks about what is self-employment and what's different about your taxes. Session 3, Income, about 13 minutes, 20 seconds. What's considered income to the IRS, and how do you figure out what yours is? Now please note, when I recorded this, one source of income slipped my mind. If you're traveling with another person that's a distributor with your company, and they give you money for gas or split the cost of a room, this is income. You get to deduct the full amount of the receipt. So this way you're only getting credit for what you actually spent. Session 4, Introduction to Expenses, about 10 minutes, gives you general information on expenses. Now, when I first started this, my plan was to go line by line. And the more I tried to explain things that way, the harder it became. So what I did was I took different lines that relate to each other and grouped them together in one session. One example of this is line 9, car and truck expenses, and line 24, travel, meals, and entertainment. They're in the same lesson. Actually, multiple lessons. That's a pretty complex topic. Session 5, the first of the actual sessions, is advertising. Almost 14 minutes on that one. Session 6, travel, entertainment, gift, and car expenses, part 1. 23 minutes, 33 seconds. This is based on IRS publication 463. This session covers introduction, travel away from home, temporary assignment or job, what travel expenses are deductible, and meals. Session 7, travel, entertainment, gift, and car expenses, part 2. 27 minutes, 23 seconds. This session covers entertainment expenses. This includes important information on meals, even if you're eating alone. Session 8, travel, entertainment, gift, and car expenses, part 3, 7 minutes, 28 seconds. This session covers transportation. Session 9, travel, entertainment, gift, and car expenses, part 4, 16 minutes, 10 seconds. This session covers record keeping and reporting. This is good information for all of your record keeping. Session 10, commissions and fees, and legal and professional services, 14 minutes, 34 seconds. Session 11, depletion and depreciation, 29 minutes. How do you claim equipment like computers and other higher priced items? Session 10, employee benefits, pension and profit sharing, insurance, interest, rent or lease, repairs and maintenance, utilities, office expenses, supplies, taxes, licenses, and other expenses. 15 minutes, 32 seconds. This session covers everything we haven't covered so far. Session 13, business use of your home, 17 minutes, 4 seconds. You can deduct expenses for your home office if you follow the rules. Session 14, the bottom line, 13 minutes, 47 seconds. Did you make a profit or did you have a loss? How do you report it on your tax return? And how does it affect your taxes? The information in this course is accurate at the time it was written. And when there are items that could be viewed by the IRS in a variety of ways, I've tried to present as many variables as possible. But because of the fact that tax laws are constantly changing, the fact that each individual taxpayer has different circumstances, separate from their self-employment, the following disclaimer is included at the beginning of each lesson. The content of this presentation is for educational purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for legal, accounting, or tax advice. Please be advised, based on current IRS rules and standards, any advice contained herein is not intended to be used, nor can it be used, for the avoidance of any tax penalty that the IRS may assess related to this matter. Any information contained in this presentation, whether viewed, heard, or printed, cannot be relied upon as qualified tax and accounting advice. Bill Cohen, Alpha to Omega Tax Services, LLC, and his related websites and articles only provide authoritative and reliable advice in written form on company letterhead and delivered by the United States Postal Service. Any information contained in this presentation does not fall under the guidelines of IRS Circular 230. Glad to have you along with me for these sessions. Learn as much as you can, be prepared, whether you use a professional tax preparer or do them yourself. The more you know, the better off you are.